All right, we're about to connect the dots on one of the most, well, audacious plans ever conceived. It's a vision for AI that starts with something as simple as a power plug, and it ends with a giant electromagnetic cannon on the moon. Seriously, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is Elon Musk's AI endgame.
And boom, right there, we hit the central crisis. We're building AI with almost godlike intelligence, but we're completely forgetting the most basic part of the equation, the power switch. As Musk puts it, we've got a massive, real-world bottleneck. You see, for years, AI has kind of lived in this limitless, magical world of software. But that whole era is coming to a very abrupt end. A hard lesson in hardware is coming, and it's coming fast, as AI developers slam face first into the brutal, slow-moving reality of, pouring concrete for power plants and stringing up high-voltage lines.
I mean, just look at this disconnect. AI's hunger for computing power, it's an exponential rocket ship just shooting straight up. But our ability to generate more electricity, it's a flat line. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm, and it is widening every single day.
And here's why. Powering AI isn't just about the chips themselves, it's about the city-sized infrastructure you have to build around them. Musk figures that for every 330,000 high-end GPUs, you need an entire gigawatt power plant. That's because you're not just powering the chips, you're powering the networking, the storage, and these colossal cooling systems needed to stop the whole thing from literally melting. And then you have to add another 25% power margin on top of all of that. The numbers get absolutely huge fast.
So if you're hitting a physical wall here on Earth, with all the regulations, the slow-moving utilities, and maxed out supply chains for things like gas turbines, what's the next logical step? Where do you possibly find a truly scalable source of power? And this right here brings us to Musk's most startling prediction. He's actually putting a deadline on it. He says in 36 months, probably less, the most logical and economically compelling place to put AI will not be on Earth. It will be in space. So why space? Well, the logic is just brutally simple. Here on Earth, solar powers, well, it's iffy. You've got night, you've got clouds, you've got seasons. Even on a totally perfect day, our atmosphere filters out about 30% of the sun's raw energy. But in orbit, you get pure, unfiltered, 24/7 sunlight. The result is just staggering. It's a 5-fold increase in power output for the exact same solar panel. And because the sun literally never sets, you don't need these massive, expensive battery farms to store power for the night. The efficiency gain is just enormous. And he's not hedging his bets here at all. This is a direct, time-bound prediction. He's saying the moment launch costs get low enough, space doesn't just become an option for AI. It becomes the only option for truly scaling it.
Okay, so if you're building a superintelligence with near infinite power, the hardware is only half the battle, right? You need a philosophical safety rail. And for Musk's AI model, Grok, that guiding principle is deceptively simple. To understand the universe. That's it. But packed into those 4 little words is a really profound set of logical requirements that just maybe could be the key to keeping AI aligned with humanity. See, this isn't just a passive mission statement. It's an active set of logical requirements. To understand the universe, an AI first has to conclude that it must exist. That makes survival a core goal. It must be curious, which means humanity becomes something interesting, not an obstacle. It has to expand its own intelligence to learn more. And above all else, it must be relentlessly tethered to reality. Because, let's be honest, you can't understand reality if you are programmed to lie or be delusional. An AI that's forced to be politically correct over just being factually correct could, in Musk's view, actually go insane. It has to be grounded in the one thing you absolutely can't bullshit: physics. Now let's connect this immensely powerful, truth-seeking AI to the physical world. What happens when you give this intelligence a body? This is where we get to a concept Musk calls the infinite money glitch. The idea is terrifyingly simple. Once a humanoid robot like Optimus can build a perfect copy of itself, you unlock an exponential feedback loop. Robots building more robots 24/7 with no need for sleep or pay. This isn't just growth. It's a supernova of economic output that would make the entire history of human industry look like a tiny little blip. I mean, to try and put a number on it, Musk argues that if we harness just 1/millionth of the sun's total energy, which is only possible with a space-based infrastructure, we could expand our economic output by a factor of 100,000.
It's a number so huge it's almost impossible to even comprehend.
But of course, this technology doesn't exist in a vacuum. The development of a true humanoid robot isn't just some science project, it's a high-stakes geopolitical race. And for Musk, it's one that America is in real danger of losing.
Here's the cold calculus. The US has a birth rate that's been below replacement level since 1971. China, on the other hand, has 4 times the population and a massive, dominant manufacturing base. In a straight-up competition based on human labor, the math is brutally simple. America can't win. So from that perspective, the conclusion is pretty much unavoidable. You can't win a numbers game when you just don't have the numbers. The only way to compete is to completely change the game. And that makes the humanoid robot race less about a technological luxury and more about sheer economic survival. And this brings us to the final, absolutely breathtaking piece of the entire puzzle. It's the culmination of all these different threads: power, AI, robotics, and space. This is the end game.
A mass driver. What is it? It's essentially a giant electromagnetic catapult. Think of it like a railgun built on the surface of the moon. And because the moon has such low gravity and practically no atmosphere, you can use it to fling massive payloads into deep space with incredible efficiency.
So what are these payloads? Well, the vision is to mine the silicon that's all over the place in the lunar soil, manufacture solar panels and other components right there on the moon, and then use the mass driver to launch a continuous stream of new, solar-powered AI data centers out into the cosmos. You can almost just see it, can't you? A constant, silent launch, one after another, expanding the light of intelligence out into the solar system and beyond. It is a vision straight out of the wildest science fiction, but every single piece is part of a calculated engineering plan. So, at the end of all this, we're left with a pretty fundamental question. Is this interconnected vision a plausible blueprint for humanity's greatest chapter? Or is it the biggest gamble in history, betting our entire future on a series of radical technological leaps? Because according to Musk's own timeline, we're going to start finding out in less than 36 months.